Carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which are divided two types: simple sugar, complex sugar. Simple sugar, monosaccharide. Complex sugar of two types: disaccharide and polysaccharide. Let's first study simple sugar. Monosaccharide. 1. General formula: C6H12O6. 2. Simplest and smallest molecules of sugar. Consists of 6 carbon atoms, into which all complex carbohydrates are converted before they can be absorbed and assimilated by the body. Example: glucose, fructose, galactose. Disaccharide. The general formula of disaccharide: C12H22O11. It contains twice the number of carbon atoms present in monosaccharides, also known as double sugars. Example: maltose, sucrose, which is cane sugar, lactose, milk sugar. Polysaccharide. General formula: C6H10O5 raised to infinity. Long chains of monosaccharide molecules, broken down by the body into 2 or more sugars when required. Example: cellulose, starch, present in plants, glycogen, present in animals, stored in the liver. Important functions of carbohydrates. First, energy supply. Carbohydrates are oxidized in the body to release energy. Second, regulates fat metabolism, helps in proper utilization of fat in the body. Third, provides support to proteins. The splitting of the glycogen stored in the muscular tissues sustains the contractile function of the muscles. Also, a greater intake of carbohydrates spares the proteins for their bodybuilding function. Fourth, aids bowel movement. The undigested cellulose provides the roughage for proper bowel movement. Test for carbohydrates. Take a small quantity of chopped raw potato. Put 2 to 3 drops of dilute iodine solution on it. Observe if there is any change in the color of the food item. Oh yes, it turns blue-black. A blue-black color indicates that it contains starch. Saturated and unsaturated fats. Fats are composed of fatty acids associated with carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, forming long molecules. Depending on their hydrogen content, fats may be either saturated or unsaturated. Saturated fats. These cannot hold any more hydrogen and are solids at room temperature. For example, ghee. Unsaturated fats. These are capable of holding more hydrogen and are liquids at room temperature. For example, oil. By a process called hydrogenation, unsaturated fats can be converted into saturated fats. Oil plus hydrogen in the presence of catalyst nickel gives ghee. The building blocks of fat are fatty acids attached to a small organic molecule called glycerol. Fatty acid plus glycerol gives fat. Ingested fats are chemically different from fats of body tissues. Dietary fats are therefore converted by enzymes, example lipase, into glycerol and fatty acids, from which specific body fat is produced. Important functions of fats. First, energy source. Fats are the chief energy producers with a calorific value of 9.3 kilocalorie of heat. Second, structural role. Lipids are structural constituents of the cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, biological membranes, and are involved in the formation and regeneration of cell and tissue structures. Third, insulation. Fat stored in the body tissues, that is subcutaneous fat, insulates the body and helps it to maintain a regular temperature. Fourth, padding. Fats deposited around the internal organs like the kidneys, liver, etc. cushions the vital organs. Fifth, transport of soluble vitamins. Fats are solvents for certain vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, and K. Sixth, reserve food. Fats are stored in the body for subsequent use. Cholesterol. All natural fats are a mixture of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. Generally, animal fats are more highly saturated than vegetable fats. Exceptions: poultry and fish oils are high in unsaturated fat, while coconut oil, that is vegetable oil, is high in saturated fat. Unsaturated fats are more reactive than saturated fats due to double bonds and hence easier to digest. On the other hand, saturated fats become stable, tend to get stored in the body. As such, they produce more blood cholesterol than unsaturated fats. Cholesterol is a complex waxy substance that is an essential component of the walls of the body cell. Only 15% of the blood cholesterol comes from the diet, while the rest is produced by the body, mainly in the liver. The body produces cholesterol regardless of dietary intake. Thus, excess dietary cholesterol tends to get deposited in the blood vessels. The thickening of the arterial walls, that is, arteriosclerosis, leads to increased blood pressure and associated heart problems. Examples of fat and fatty acid. Let's first see examples of fat-rich sources. Milk, egg, meat, seeds and nuts, oils, butter. Examples of fat and fatty acids. 1. Butyric acid present in butter. 2. Palmitic acid present in palm oil. 3. Oleic acid present in unsaturated plant and animal fat. Fatty acids are necessary for good health. They also find use in the manufacture of soap. Example, stearic acid.
Test for fats. Take a small quantity of a groundnut. Wrap it in a piece of paper and crush it. Do take care that the paper does not tear. Now, straighten the paper and observe it carefully. Allow the paper to dry so that if there is any water present, it will dry up. Now observe whether it has an oily patch. Hold the paper against light. Are you able to see the light faintly through this patch? An oily patch on paper shows that the food item contains fat.